Welcome into Teal, the show. We're talking about the first place in the AFC South, Jacksonville Jaguars. Sounds great when you say it, doesn't it?
Oh, boy, it sounds fantastic. Let's keep saying it. I'm with you.
Hey, we could just spend the whole time saying that over and over. I'm Jamal St. Cyr alongside 1010XL's Frank Frangie. Frank, we're staring towards the final game of the regular season. That's going to be one that's a big one for the AFC South. But before we get to that, obviously, we have to talk about this week. Doug Peterson saying there's no such thing as an unimportant football game. So this Texans game, they're not taking it light.
Preparation, the energy we bring towards games. I think that's just key for us. Week in, week out, we know that we can't let it slip. 5-game losing streak, we had to learn how to win games. That's by, preparing and being able to play all the way through games. And then, I always bring up, we lost to Detroit by a lot. And then that really taught us how to prepare and bring the right energy to games. But we did that right after a good win in here, but we played Baltimore. And then we went in Detroit, laid an egg. We said we can't do that anymore. We got to know the standard we have to practice to in order we can play well.
If you don't stay focused, you can go out there and get kicked, being honest. And as competitors, this is what we do. We compete. And so I want to be as prepared as possible. I want to still put my best foot forward. Because ultimately it's my resume that I'm putting on tape. It's our resume as a team that we're putting on tape. So I think it still speaks volumes. And it's important for us to capitalize on every opportunity that we get. Let's keep the momentum that we have going. Let's not just squander an opportunity because we're focused on, the other week ahead.
Coaches stress the importance of this game. I think the whole team knows the importance of this game. Regardless, we play games trying to win them. A lot of guys have a lot to play for. Regardless of NFL, every game matters. You don't ever want to put bad film on tape anyway. And then just, it's a team that we lost to earlier. And I didn't like how we lost to them. It's kind of a dog fight. We ended up losing it. So, we got a lot to prove, and then keep this momentum. We got to, in order to, keep momentum, we got to keep creating momentum. I said that earlier, and I 100% believe in that.
Doug has had to teach this team, Jamal, how to win, how to get ready to play every week, and that's what they've had to do. You got to be ready to play every week. Well, you can't unteach that one week. You can't all of a sudden say, okay, all those games were important, but this one's not. Maybe if it was an older team, a more veteran team, you could play it that way. But with a young team that's had to learn how to get ready every Sunday, you can't change that. So I think that's one of the things. The other thing is there is the possibility of a tie. If you tie the Titans, then winning this game does matter. That's a long shot, but it does matter. So there's a lot of reasons why this game matters, why you have to play this game to win it.
That kind of leads us into the team that they're going to play in 2 weeks, the Titans, who are taking almost a different approach to it. On Thursday night, the Titans played against the Cowboys. A lot of people on their injury list, and that they ruled out very early in the process because they are prepping for the AFC South championship game, essentially, that's going to be here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and Jamal, they're in a different position. Look, number one, it's more veteran team. They've been there. They've won that division. They're used to being in the playoffs. Number two, they're really banged up. The Jags are a pretty healthy team. I think just about everybody in the starting depth chart is going to start the game for Jacksonville, so I think they're a healthy team. Tennessee is probably doing the right thing for Tennessee. If I was Tennessee, I'd play it the same way. You're banged up. You've lost a bunch in a row. Look, the only game that really matters is the last one. Let's all hands on deck that week. But it's a different circumstance, a more veteran team that can get up and down, and a beat-up team, and the Jaguars are not that. I think that's why they're playing it a little bit differently.
Right now, the Jaguars are one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and, you don't want to jeopardize that. So that means this game, an extremely big week, another win, and you're sitting there saying, well, they're really rolling as they head into this game against the Titans. So this Texans game, of course, the Jaguars do have a bit of a losing streak against the Texans, too. So they've been streak busters this year. Maybe they can bust another one this week.
Well, they've lost 9 in a row to Houston, and everybody knows that. That's not lost on the Houston players, and that's not lost on the Jaguars players. They've lost a lot in a row to this team. But they're better. They have the better team. Houston's really struggling. They're the last-ranked team in the league in run defense, so you can run on a little bit. Their offense has been all over the place. They're going to play 2 quarterbacks. They're going to play Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll, kind of like last week, a passing quarterback and a running quarterback. Yes, there's a streak, but the Jags have the better of the 2 teams, and they should win the game for that reason.
Yeah, it's a big matchup. We'll talk a little bit more about it when Teal the Show returns right after this break. All right, welcome back into Teal the Show. Jaguars getting set for the Houston Texans this weekend, one that would make sure that they stay atop the rankings in the AFC South. Frank, this Texans matchup is an interesting one. Obviously, the Texans take the different approach than just about every other team in the NFL. They're going with the 2 quarterback thing, which you normally see in college. You don't see it often in the NFL, but it's actually been working a little bit for them, keeping defenses on their toes.
You know, I can tell you this. They always say when we have 2 quarterbacks, it means you don't have one, and that's kind of the circumstance. I think if the Texans pick first, they're going to take Bryce Young out of Alabama. But for now, Davis Mills is an okay quarterback. He's their passer. Jeff Driscoll, a one-time Florida Gator. Now, he went to Louisiana Tech to finish up, but he was a one-time Florida Gator. I can tell you a story. In 2012, when they were pretty good, they played Vanderbilt. At the end of the game, Driscoll ran an RPO, kept the ball, and went 75 yards and was the fastest guy on the field. Now, it was Vanderbilt, not Alabama, but he was really fast. Jeff Driscoll, straight ahead, is a really fast player. So you saw Chris Streveler last week. Now, look, last week the Jags didn't expect it. This week they will expect it. But running quarterbacks are kind of all the rage now, and Driscoll can really run. So they have to be concerned when Driscoll comes into the game.
They're different guys, but they kind of bring the similar game. Six will run it a little bit more, I think. But Tank can run it too. Six can throw it. Tank can throw it. So it's kind of like the same. We kind of might expect different plays, but we got to prepare for them the same.
And containing those Texans quarterbacks, they lost one of their big players a week ago, DeJuan Smoot, Achilles injury. He's going to be done for the year. Hate that for the guy. But replacing him as the Jaguars make this push is going to be a tough one. They're going to have to rely on a former first-round pick, Kayvon Chason, a lot to kind of fill that void.
Yeah, they used a lot of different guys to rush the passer. Arden Key's been in play. DeJuan Smoot, who just got hurt, has been in play. Josh Allen has been in play. And Kayvon Chason's been down a lot. Look, Kayvon can run. He's never really found his way in the league, but I can tell you this staff likes him. They like his energy. They love him on special teams. There's still something there with Kayvon Chason. They believe it, and now it's time to see it. He's got 2 regular season games and then hopefully some postseason games to show it. He's an active, athletic guy. Let's hope he can help the cause.
Yeah, they'll need him to step up in a big way, especially if for whatever reason Trayvon Walker isn't able to go. He's still dealing with that ankle injury. He's missed the last 2 ball games. The rookie has started to kind of hit his peak, so that's a good sign for the Jaguars. If they get him back, then that's one less spot that they have to worry about filling.
I think Trayvon Walker is going to start the game. I think he's going to play. We'll see how far he can go. I think everybody's going to be up this game. You're going to try. I think Fatukasi, they're going to try and play him. I think Trayvon Walker, my guess is they're going to try and play him. What they've learned about Trayvon, he's probably a better player with his hand on the ground. So when he plays this week and moving forward, when Tennessee comes in and in the playoffs, we hope, I think he's going to be a down lineman more than anything else. But yeah, he's the first overall pick. I mean, he's number 1. He's 1-1, so he needs to help your team, and hopefully he'll have a good finish to the season.
All right, before we switch to the Jaguars offense, I want to touch on one more guy on that defense, Devin Lloyd. He kind of got a little bit of a grief after the Jaguars coaching staff pulled back the reins on him, sent him to the sideline, started playing Chad Muma a little bit more. But as of late, Devin Lloyd actually playing better and better, so it does look like what the Jaguars staff did of simplifying his role a little bit has helped him.
You know what, too, Jamal? He benefited from not starting the one game. He could sit and watch the other guys play for a while, and I think that helped him to sit back, watch everybody else play for a while, watch everybody else kind of get going. I think that benefited Devin. You're still going to see both guys. I'm not sure Muma's completely healthy yet. I think the ankle's still in play a little bit, which is why you're going to see both guys. But I think moving forward, you're going to see a lot of both of those rookies. I really do.
All right, that Jaguars offense. Early on in the year, it was the Christian Kirk show, and if you stopped Christian Kirk, the Jaguars offense wasn't working. But as of late, Frank, it's been a different guy each week, and Evan Ingram has really taken charge of this passing game as of late. I know everybody expected big things from Evan Ingram because you said, well, Doug Peterson loves tight ends, and Evan Ingram's going to be the latest one that's going to have this big career year. Kind of got off to a slow start, but as of late, Evan Ingram is putting the entire NFL on notice to what kind of player he can be.
You realize there's a chance this year you're going to have 3 guys with 80 catches? I don't think the Jags have ever had that before, and it's all new guys. That's why it took a while. All 3 guys are new to the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is new to Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson's new to all 3 guys. Think about that for a second. The play caller, who's the head coach, and the quarterback, and all 3 receivers are all new together. They haven't played with each other before. They haven't played for the coach before. So it was going to take a while. I'll tell you what, it's really working for these Jags right now.
One other piece of NFL history they're actually knocking on the door of, Frank. 3 receivers, first time with the team, over 800 yards. Never happened before in NFL history. Christian Kirk's already reached that number. Zay Jones could reach that number over these last 2 final games, and Evan Ingram also could. If they can get 3 guys first year with the program over 800 yards, that's first time that's ever happened in the history of the league, so that'd be huge.
It's pretty amazing. And Trevor Lawrence has a 24.1 point jump in passer rating from year 1 to year 2. That's also never happened before. The bottom line is they're doing things here that have never been done before in the NFL, and that's really a tribute to the coach. Doug Peterson is, I've said this before, how was he available? How did all those teams pass on him? All those open jobs, the Jaguars hired him late. God bless Shad for finding him, for making him the coach. The job Doug Peterson's done, look, he's not going to win Coach of the Year. Nick Sirianni's going to win that with the Eagles and probably should win it. But Doug's going to get some votes. He's done an amazing job with this team. There's no question about it.
Yeah, Shad definitely got the right guy.
Yes, he did. No question about that.
No question. I mean, when you look at this Jaguars offense right now, Frank, this might be the best Jaguars offense in franchise history, and we're looking at it and saying, wow, next year they might even be better.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, this thing's built for a while offensively. Really good play caller. This is a generational quarterback. We kept saying generational. Well, now we see why people said that. This quarterback and those three receivers. Now, look, Zay Jones and Christian Kirk are under contract. They've got to get Evan Ingram signed. Now, I think he wants to be here, but I think one of the main things and one of the challenges in the offseason is make sure you keep those three receivers together with that quarterback. That's a big part of the offseason.
All right, Frank. The Houston Texans game. We've had a little bit of a thing going here on how to pick these games. Do you think the Jaguars can beat the Texans this week?
I'm torn on this. Here's why. I always think they're going to win, but I always say they're not going to win because I feel like I've had a part in this. My saying that was jinxing them before. But I got to pick them this week. I just think they're so much better than the Texans. I haven't picked them on this show in a long time, and if they lose, it is totally on me, and I will own it, and I'll take full responsibility. But I think they're going to beat the Texans. I think they are significantly better than the Houston Texans, and I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah, the Texans are a team that's really not playing for much at this time of the year. The Jaguars have a lot on the line. They're a team that's getting hot at the right time of the year. All the momentum is in their favor. This lines up to end that losing streak against the Houston Texans. Should be able to keep the Jaguars' winning streak alive and really push them into what would be the final game of the regular season. And who knows? Maybe even postseason. Hey, those postseason tickets went on sale earlier this week. So, there's a lot of excitement here in Jacksonville. Frank, thanks for being here. Thank you at home for tuning in. We'll see what the Jaguars can do on Sunday. Good night and go Jags.